This is going to be a really long week, isn't it? Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Liam here from Philly Sports Network, and as you may know, the Eagles started what could be the beginning of the end on Sunday night. They pulled Carson Wentz in the third quarter of the loss to the Green Bay Packers and put in Jalen Hurts in his place. Now, instantly, Jalen Hurts seemed to provide a spark on the offense. Within 2 rushing attempts, he ended up leading the team in rushing yards, threw a touchdown to Greg Ward, a 34-yard pass to Jalen Reagor, who then went on to, of course, record a punt return touchdown. The Eagles went from 3 points to 16 very, very quickly, but now there's a dilemma because Doug Peterson has got to decide who his quarterback is for the short term and how that impacts the long term. It's not as easy as just saying Jalen Hurts is my guy because he gives us a better upside right now. We're gonna get into why. Before we get into it though, guys, if you could leave a like and hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys are going to have a lot to say, and if you want to take that discussion further, the Flick Sports group chat is the place to be. PSN Eagles Nation, 588 of you in that group right now. There's a link down there below. It's free to join. There'll be a thread in there debating Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. Give me your thoughts. Let's talk shop. So let's start off with the pros here of bringing in Jalen Hurts. He immediately opens up the offense. No matter how you look at it, he provides a spark. And a lot of people will look at that game and say, the Packers defense played soft. And they did. The linebackers did sit back a lot further. They did have a monumental lead. There was no real threat of the Eagles coming back at that point. It makes sense to take away the big gains when they just start yeeting the ball down the field, which is, again, what we saw with Jalen Reagor. Now, what that allowed is Jalen Hurts to run absolutely rampant. This is a man that had nearly 1,300 rushing yards last year for Oklahoma in what would have been a Heisman campaign had it not been for Joe Burrow breaking the world. Now, what Jalen Hurts provides and what Carson Wentz provide are similar, but Hurts is much more mobile, and it's not that Carson Wentz isn't, because he does do that, but Carson Wentz goes from stature in the pocket and messy footwork to absolute desperation and running for his life. Even though Jalen Hurts was running for his life, which I think we can all agree he was, there was a certain element of composure and confidence and almost excitement and wanting to be that guy there. Whereas Carson Wentz almost seems afraid to. Like, he doesn't tuck and run. He'll roll around, run outside a bit, and desperately scrap for a kind of opening on top of the messy mechanics in the pocket, which is leading to bad quarterback play. So there is no doubting that Jalen Hurts would provide this offense with a more dangerous quarterback because teams won't know how to prepare for him. There is that extra element, and if the team can give him anything that isn't a standard read option, then there might just be a chance of something positive with Jalen Hurts. Like we already saw, receivers started to get open. Offensive linemen still played bad. They just looked like they had more time because Hurts was moving around the pocket a lot more frequently. We're going to have a film room tomorrow breaking down the two players and looking at just how different they are and what each one will bring to the table. But you can't look at that game and say Jalen Hurts wasn't the better quarterback. It wasn't hard. Better than Carson Wentz. It's not exactly a difficult task here, but Hurts was the better guy. Now, the second part of this is that a change absolutely had to be made because you're the head coach, right? You are on board this ship right now. He's already said, Doug Peterson, he doesn't want help making this decision. He doesn't want Scangarello, he doesn't want Lurie or Roseman or Press Taylor or anyone in his ear telling him what to do. He wants to be the guy. This is Doug Peterson's last hurrah. This is very much the Jon Snow in Game of Thrones with the horses. This is his do or die right now, is that if he benches Carson Wentz, the man he has been married to for 5 years, they came in as rookies together, they ended up growing through 2017, through all the adversity in 2018, through that iconic late 4-game run in 2019, all of this in 2020, if he pulls the plug on Carson Wentz right now, it sends a sign, and it's going to do one of two things. Number one, it's going to fracture that locker room to pieces. You are going to have guys that are all in on Carson Wentz, the Jason Kelce's, the Lane Johnsons of the world, maybe a couple of the receivers, someone like Zach Ertz for certain, who are all in on Carson Wentz, and they will look at that move, and you can very easily see ruptures beginning to form. It's what happens when most quarterbacks get benched. On the other side, you can't fault him for it. Peterson has recognized that quarterback is a weakness. It is something he can change in the middle of the season. Unlike offensive line play, they can just not play Jason Peters, but that's another debate for another day. This is something he has direct control over, and if he pulls Carson Wentz out and throws Jalen Hurts in and says, look, it's not going the way we planned, we need a spark, this is our best option. I need you guys to trust me. I'm making a call for the betterment of the team. Regardless of whether you agree with it or not, you've got to like that as a player. You've got to say, hey, he's not just sitting by doing nothing like he has for 12 weeks. He's actually taken a stand, and that should inspire some hope. Alternatively, it's going to inspire players who are pissed off, and quite rightfully so, to play harder, because they're going to feel responsible for Wentz's benching. Jason Peters should feel responsible. Sam Arlo should feel responsible. Zach Ertz in the opening few games should feel responsible. Miles Sanders should feel a little bit responsible when it comes to catching play. Like, there are a lot of players that need to take ownership of this and say, hey, if we'd have been better, maybe it didn't get to this point. And they're either going to fracture or they're going to step up and play better. And that's the risk that has to be taken. Now, the downside to starting Jalen Hurts is that it is going to probably ruin the confidence of Carson Wentz. The guy's already teetering on a knife edge here. And to just sum up a very brief history of Wentz, drafted in 2016, 2017 tears his ACL, watches Nick Foles win a Super Bowl, then has to watch the entire offseason that year with a statue erected, Foles being the QB1 and all the receivers used to him. He comes back in 2018, finally gets on a page with his receivers, then you have the O'Shaughnessy sources. 2019, more O'Shaughnessy sources, and only this time, everyone's injured and he has to put the offense on his back, be the guy, take them to a divisional title, concussed in Seattle. 2020, the team pay him $128 million and then draft a quarterback in the second round. Confidence goes. Summit's not quite right. Then he comes into this season, is an absolute train wreck. Then he gets benched. If he gets benched for the rest of the year, it is easy to see after being the most sacked quarterback in the league and going through all of that, it'd say, I'm out, get rid of me, whatever, like, I'm done. And I wouldn't blame him. I would not blame him. Like, he is being failed by this organization miserably. And benching Carson Wentz could break him. It could break him. We have to accept that as a reality here. That you are pulling the plug on fixing him at least until the offseason. Where at that point, if Hurts blows up and has a great few games and maybe leads a team to a divisional title, the amount of QB controversy in that locker room will be unparalleled. You're going to once again have two names, only this time, one of them's a rookie going into year 2 of his contract. The other one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. It is a very, very contrasting parallel here. So if you get to the offseason and it's going to cost you $43 million in dead cap space to move on from Carson Wentz, what do you do? Like, if Doug Peterson makes the right call and puts in Jalen Hurts and everything's fine, what do you do at that point? Like, who's your quarterback then moving forward? Is it a training camp battle? Does Doug Peterson still get fired despite making that decision that saves the season? Like, this is very much Doug Peterson's job on the line here as well. And he knows if this backfires, he's going down with that ship. And that's where he's at mentally, I think, where he has gone, do you know what? Whatever happens here, I'm throwing caution to the wind. This is my ship. If we're going down swinging. And he knows that. So his job is on the line. And one of those quarterbacks, seemingly, could be on the line. And I don't know which one. If Jalen Hurts fails, it's a sign the offense is terrible. Doug Peterson's got a counter of, well, I tried everything, it still sucked, we go again. Is that not an indictment of his head coaching abilities and a sign for them to move on? I don't know. That's the really tough thing here. The immediate short upside is Jalen Hurts. But is the long-term discomfort, unrest, emotion and anger worth it? Like, is it worth it at this point? Like, are you going to throw Jalen Hurts to the wolves, who was 0 for 5 under pressure, by the way, last night, who is then going to end up being, you know, brutalized by defensive lines? Is that going to be beneficial for him? Or is that going to hurt his development? I genuinely don't know. I want to know what you guys think. I think immediate upside for me, Jalen Hurts has to be the option. He's got to be, if the team want to win and they want to win that divisional title and sneak into the playoffs, he has got to be the guy. If that's not the case, if they are happy just trying to muddle through and see what moves they need to make this offseason, then you ride with Carson Wentz. But you can't half-ass bench someone. And that's the first mistake they've made. They've half-ass bench Carson Wentz for half a game. Doesn't benefit anyone. They've got to find a solution. I hope they do so soon. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this has been a little bit insightful. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll talk to you soon.